Finding private lenders is not near as hard as you think if you understand who they are and how to find them and what to say to them when you find them. You know what? I'm just gonna make a YouTube video about it. The simple fact is most of us are too broke, especially when we start investing in real estate to use our own money. So your options are you're too broke, not invest, or use other people's money and invest. One of these options creates wealth for you. One of them puts you exactly where you are in 5 years. This one. Let's go with the wealth building way and let's learn how to raise private money. So who are private money lenders? Let's start out with who they're usually not. Private money lenders are usually not a rich parent or a rich uncle, and they're definitely not the mom. Private money lenders are just normal, everyday people looking to get a great ROI on real estate. Now, you're probably going to know them through your network or maybe through your network's network, but they're just normal, everyday people with full-time jobs that want to diversify a little bit from their current investments. Now, they're usually in their mid to upper 40s or lower 50s, a little bit further in their career, made decent money and want to retire soon, so they want to diversify a little bit. They want to invest in real estate, they just don't have the time to do it, and they're willing to give you $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 to do that. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you the 4 reasons to tell a private lender when you're in the meeting to make it seem like a no-brainer and it'd be a dumb decision to not invest in you. Some examples of some private money lenders that my students have recently acquired. One of them was a real estate agent. The agent understood real estate obviously, but didn't understand investing. And the student talked about needing money. They were going to use a hard money lender for the purchase, but they needed $50,000 for the rehab. The agent that brought them the deal ended up giving them the $50,000 for the rehab. Another one was an insurance agent. This insurance agent was actually the insurance agent of the student's parents, and then eventually the insurance agent for her, for home, life, and auto. They were talking in the office and the student mentioned that they were looking to raise money to invest in real estate. And this insurance agent actually recently took out $100,000 from the stock market because they feel like it's not going to perform better in the future. So they wanted to pull out some potential future losses and they invested in them. The line goes on and on, but the more you talk about real estate in open situations and talk about it with passion, the more people with money will be attracted to you. So now that you know who these private lenders are, what do they look for in a person or a deal that makes them invest? The first thing they look for is somebody that they have a relationship with, somebody that they have connected with in the past. It's going to be pretty hard to meet somebody and say, "Hi, my name is Sam, give me money." You need to have connections that you built with them over the years. That's why it's usually somebody that your family has a connection with, it's your parents' boss, maybe your grandparents' neighbor, just a connection of a connection. And then they also look at the deal. They're usually not going to break down the deal or underwrite it at a deep level, but they will just want to see the specifics of a deal. You need to convince them that real estate is a great investment, but what they're going to look at is you and the deal, so make sure both look solid. When do you look for private lenders? You're always looking for private lenders. There is not a time where you should ever not be looking for private lenders. I have about 8 or 10 different private lenders that we work through in our flipping company as well as our rental company, and I'm always looking for more. There is more money out there than deals. So having a stable of good lenders in the background is always a good thing. So if a great deal comes across your plate, you don't have to worry about the money. You can just pounce on the deal and analyze it, focus on that, and you know the money will be there. Now that may seem taxing and that may seem kind of hard, but guess what? Buying real estate, creating wealth, creating financial freedom, it's not easy. It's hard and you have to always be looking to improve yourself and always be looking to raise money. Now that we know the who, what, when, let's get to the where. Where do you find private lenders? You can find them when you're out with the girls on a girls' night talking real estate. You can find them when you're out with the boys on a golf trip. You can find them at a restaurant, a family reunion, at your work. You can find them anywhere because, as I mentioned earlier, they are just normal, everyday people with a little bit of extra money. You can also be a little more proactive and go to your local real estate investing meetup groups. We have one here in St. Louis called Buyers Club. It's the 3rd Thursday of every month, and every single month we have a handful of private lenders that are there. We talked about the who, what, when, where. Now let's talk about how to structure your deals with private money lenders. And then, as promised, I'm going to give you the 4 things to tell a private money lender to make it seem like a no-brainer to give you their money. We structure our deals a little bit differently every single time, which is one of the beautiful things about private money lenders. It can be a very flexible situation. Now, usually on a standard deal, we're going to raise the purchase price plus the rehab funds from one single private money lender. So for simple math, we raised $75,000 for the purchase and $25,000 for the rehab. So we borrow an entire $100,000 from that private money lender. That money goes into our business bank account. We use the money to pay cash for the house, and then we use that money to pay the contractors to fix up the house. Then when it's all said and done, the property is going to be worth $125,000, $130,000, $140,000. You do a cash out refinance at a small local bank. Then when it's all said and done, it's worth $130,000, $140,000, $150,000. At that point, you can either sell it and pay them back their $100,000 plus interest, or you can refinance at a small local bank. They'll give you a loan for 80% of the appraised value. You take that loan and you pay back the private money lender their $100,000 plus interest. Now interest, what does that mean? That's usually somewhere between 8 to 12% annualized. So for that $100,000, if it's an 8% interest you're giving them and it takes you an entire year to do the deal, you pay them back $108,000, so $8,000 gained on their money. But if it takes you 6 months to do the deal, you pay them back $104,000. So it's annualized, meaning it's broken down over a year. So you're not giving them 8% return on their money no matter how long it takes. And typical ranges for private money lenders are usually anywhere from 8 to 12% annualized, and it's almost always paid on the back end, meaning you don't have to give them monthly payments or put any money down. You give them their principal plus interest at the end when you refinance or you sell. All right, here are the 4 things to tell a private money lender when you're sitting down at the table with them, giving them your final pitch to lend you money. Number 1 is you personally guarantee the loan, meaning you're putting your personal butt on the line. Usually if you personally guarantee the investment, the lender realizes that they're going to get their money back, meaning you put your personal butt and your personal assets on the line. If that's too much for you, then you're probably gonna have to find another lending source, or maybe real estate's not cut out for you. If you're not gonna use any of your own money, you do have to take some responsibility for the loan. Number 2, you sign a promissory note with them, meaning you should be borrowing in an LLC. Your LLC promises to pay them back, and it lays out the term of the investment, meaning all the legal mumbo jumbo and the actual investment terms as far as this much dollar amount, this much percentage, and this much return. It lays it all out there and you both sign it. Number 3, you add them as an additional insured on the insurance policy. This costs no extra money. When you're getting your insurance on the property, you just simply add this person or whatever LLC they're lending you the money through on the insurance certificate along with you and your company. So that means if the property burns down or something happens, they have rights to those funds as well. It's super simple, super easy, but gives them a level of security. If you haven't realized, you're giving them a very, very secure investment. You're giving them more security than they even get in a savings account sometimes, because savings accounts are only insured up to $250,000, and the return they get on their savings account is laughable. It actually loses money with inflation. So you're giving them as a secure investment as they can get, and probably giving them double-digit returns. The last thing you're going to do, or potentially do, you don't have to, we do this sometimes, we don't always, is you're going to allow them to put a lien on the property, meaning they have legal rights to foreclose if you don't pay them back via the promissory note, or they can foreclose on the property if you get hit by a bus and something happens to you. That gives them the ultimate level of security. And then when you go and sell the property, their lien will drop because you will pay them back, or when you refinance the property, that lien will drop when you pay them back. So either way, they get their money back, and all these things are things you should be doing anyway. This just gives them 4 very, very deep levels of security in the investment with you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a like. I would really appreciate it. I put content like this out all the time on all my social media platforms. I'd appreciate a follow as well. See you on the next one.